Peace, everyone. I'm Tanisha, the host of Self Love Sanctuary, where I empower women to rise above burnout with self love and play. If you are into self discovery, self love, wellness, having fun, and mental health, then this is the podcast for you. Welcome. What's going on, everyone? It's your coach, Niche. Welcome back to another episode of the Self Love Sanctuary podcast. Here we talk about everything on burnout, mindfulness, wellness, and spirituality. Today, I want to get into a topic on releasing our emotions. I have stated plenty of times how your body holds on to your emotions. The body keeps score. It holds on to all of our trauma, our stress, the things that are constantly bothering us. And one thing that I have found on my journey that's been super helpful in releasing is honestly the simplest thing, which is sitting with myself and letting myself cry the shit out. I'm talking full-blown bawling, y'all. On the floor, wrapped in a blanket, and just letting the tears go for as long as there may. And it hurts. If something's happened in my life, in a relationship, in a new chapter in my own life where things aren't moving the way I want them to, and they always say, when there's resistance, it means that that's just not the right way for you to go, but another door is opening, and you have to be able to let it go. And so crying is an amazing way to release those emotions that are stored within and to let it out in a very freeing way. There are times where I'm crying and I might be screaming, I'm punching a pillow, I'm doing whatever I have to, because in the moment, crying doesn't feel good for me personally. I don't like it when it's happening. And I also know that at times it's the only thing that I need, because I don't always go to my tears. I wasn't raised to cry it out. I was actually told to just be strong. And I am that strong one. Raise your hand listening to this podcast if you are the strong friend, the one who holds everybody down. Everyone comes to you for advice. And when it's time for you to need people, maybe they are there, maybe they aren't. Maybe they give you good advice, maybe they don't. I know there's been a lot of times in my life where I needed people, and when I called, they didn't answer. And it doesn't mean that they knew I was calling because I was sad. It's just that usually when people need me, I'm there. I'm always around. And so it's tough when you're the strong friend and you need help. So releasing and crying it out has been a way where I don't have to rely on anyone, and I can just sit in my shit. Really, just sit in it. Be uncomfortable. Let it all go and see what comes from that, which usually on the other side is something very beautiful. It takes strength to cry. It takes strength to be a mess, to be vulnerable. That is the work. And that is a way to help you when you are dealing with burnout. Because usually burnout is from stress, and our emotions are just all over the place. And ladies, if you're on your moon cycle while you are experiencing stress, it's a whole nother layer, which is an even more of a reason for you to let it out. Because when we are on our moon cycles, and when I refer to moon cycles, I mean our periods, our menstrual cycle, that is the ultimate release. If we want to get into the spiritual senses, if you bleed on a new moon or a full moon, that is a powerful time to let things go from your body. You're bleeding, you're crying. There's so much magic that is in that moment you might not even recognize. I've learned on my spiritual journey, the moon is essential for women. Back in the days, they would look at the moon and see what time for fasting even. I have fasted during a full moon. I fasted during a new moon. And that's just from learning how pivotal the moon phases are. We have the crescent moon, the waxing moon. And these are things that I wish I knew growing up. How important the universe is. How much wealth there is in the universe that's here to support us on our journeys. Now, bringing it back to the releasing, it's all part of helping you to guide you into that next phase of your life, to let you know that right now in the uncomfortable moment, it's not forever. Just like the moon phase, just like life, each moment passes us by. There's an author that I love, Eckhart Tolle. He always says, this too shall pass. And I may not like it when I first hear it, because I'm like, but this sucks. But it does pass. And when I'm laying on that floor and I'm curled up in a ball, it's not forever, but it's for now. And it's needed. Another thing that I do when I am having a more of a down moment, when I'm experiencing burnout, is I actually do burn rituals. So usually what that looks like for me is writing what could be a forgiveness letter to my younger self, to my teenage self, or to me right now, who's being so overly self-critical, who is pushing things when she knows she should be flowing with things. And I write her a letter, and whatever's coming to me, I just write it all down. I get it out, and then I usually read it to myself. And after that, I'll take my cauldron and I'll take a lighter with the paper and I'll go outside and I'll burn it inside the cauldron. Everything is energy. We are energy. This universe is energy. Everything. So when you are writing it down, speaking it out, then burning it, you're releasing that, what one could say is negative energy or hard feelings off of you. It's calling back your energy. This is the spiritual side of what I love to do with women I work with. I merge the holistic wellness with the spirituality. And these tools are free, right? You don't need someone, you don't have to make an investment. You can just do this in your home, put on some releasing music, which I usually do, and I just write whatever comes to me. And that is a freeing moment. It's a time for self-introspective, and it's a moment where I'm just one with my thoughts. And if the negative shit comes out, I write it. If there's something positive, I write it. There's no judgment, there's no shame, and there's no guilt. And when I'm done, I usually feel a weight lifted off of me. And I always give thanks to my ancestors, to the Most High, because they're always there supporting us. And these are tools that have been passed down. And I'm so grateful to be in a space where I can be this person to help other women learn these tools and empower them to learn that, baby girl, you don't have to hold on to this shit. It's not worth it. It doesn't serve you. And it hasn't served me when I'm having hip pains and ladies hold on to pain so deeply in their hips. It's that stagnant energy. And that has happened to me a lot. Even within movement and stretching, it goes there, that and the lower back. And that's, connected to that root chakra, sacral chakra. And the more you do these things to love on yourself, this is a different way to show yourself self-love. Take the hour or however long it takes you. Sometimes for me, it can happen in 10-15 minutes. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's more. Until I feel complete. And that's really what you want. And sometimes afterwards, I'll sage the place just to continue clearing out some energy. I'll just sit with myself after that. And every time, I'm always so proud of myself. I've literally have notes in my phone saying, I'm so proud that you took the time to cry today. I love you. I'm so proud of you for doing a ritual to release the energies that are no longer serving you, Tanisha. And before, I didn't have this compassion for myself. When I would cry, I would shame myself, and it would just cause more pain. Because like I mentioned, I just wasn't raised to cry, or if you cry, it's like, just shake it off. And I'm here to say, don't shake it off. Live and move through it. It is here to help. And when you feel that love on yourself after you've taken this time, to me, it's the most rewarding thing. I'll give myself a hug. And, after that, maybe I'm going to have a snack or whatever I'm called to. Maybe I'll pull some cards and just celebrate myself. Celebrate that I moved through from a dark moment to now a light moment. This is something that a lot of people may or may not talk about as a way to move through their burnout or their stress. But I find that it's a really amazing way to be mindful and aware of what your body needs. Do you know how much power that is to know, I need this time to myself right now. I gotta throw my phone to the side and I can't talk to anyone because I got a date with me. I gotta get back to me. Because when you lose yourself, man, it's the worst thing. And when you're yelling at other people and not being able to express yourself or be vulnerable or not accept love because of all these things you have trapped inside of you, that is a disservice to yourself and to people around you who only see the light in you and only want the best for you. Man, I even say that with a heavy heart because that has been me so many times. I've let love pass by me because I didn't feel I was worthy enough of it. I've self-sabotaged things. I've even just been so down on myself for not accomplishing things or doing things fast enough. And it's like, why? Time is a construct. We don't have to be in this fast-paced life all this time. There's something called divine feminine and divine masculine for a reason, and we all hold both energies. There's a time for fast and there's a time for slow. And there's a time where you have to know how to balance them both. And I'm probably going to do an episode on the divine feminine and divine masculine because that's something that I have struggled with in business, especially, where I can tend to lean more to the masculine side. And I found that it is an interesting dance when it comes to burnout. So I definitely think it's something I will talk about. I love sharing my experiences with you all. Doing this podcast is healing for me. Seeing the steps of where I was to where I am now. And I always say showing up here is vulnerable. And vulnerability is a superpower, as Brene Brown always says. And I'm here to be that superhero. I'm here to come out from the shadows and be the light for whoever is listening and is resonating with this. Just know that I see you, I'm here for you, and I love you. So that's all that I have for this podcast episode today with you all. Just remember to love on you. You come first. And if you ever have any questions for me, feel free to email me. My email is tanisha@mswellnessllc.com. I'll also put my information in the show notes. Follow me on Instagram, plant-based vibes. Always here to just show you love and see where I can help. Sending a big hug to you all, family. Peace, love, and light.